Theseus was born to King Aegeus as a result of a broken prophecy. Before his birth, Aegeus hid his sword and sandals under a great rock, and told his mother Aethra that when Theseus was strong enough to collect his belongings from the rock, he should be sent to Athens, so Theseus would be declared its next king. After collecting his father's belongings, Theseus went in search of Aegeus. On his journey, he slayed multiple bandits and what became known as the 6 labors of Theseus. When he reached Athens and found his father, Theseus showed him the sword and sandals, and Aegeus immediately recognized his son, declaring him the next king of Athens. Sometime later, Theseus went to conquer the Minotaur and free Athens from the stranglehold of Crete. After returning to Athens and becoming its new king, Theseus worked to increase the size of the city by drawing in the people of the surrounding territory and reconstituting them as farmers, artisans, and nobles of Athens. Along with this endeavor, Plutarch writes on the many adventures of Theseus, including his war with the Amazons, his friendship with Pirithoüs, his multiple womanizing exploits, and the infamous capturing of Helen before marrying age. But Theseus's exploits would catch up with him when Pirithoüs was killed for trying to carry off Persephone, the wife of Hades, and when he was forced out of Athens after his political enemies led the Athenians to reject the hero. Theseus would live out his last days on the island of Skyros under the reign of King Lycomedes. Plutarch writes that Lycomedes had Theseus killed by luring him to the tallest mountaintop before pushing him off. The man who sought to be the next Heracles had met his unfortunate end. Hundreds of years later, the Athenian general Cimon discovered the remains of Theseus on Skyros as part of a prophecy from the oracle at Delphi. His remains were returned to Athens for proper burial, and Theseus was once again welcomed by his people. By the time of Cimon, Athens had become the most prominent power in the Aegean. And now, we shall turn our attention to his Roman counterpart. In his account on Romulus, Plutarch first details the accounts of various Greek and Roman authors about the origins of Rome's founder. The most accepted account comes from the Greek writer Diocles, where Romulus and Remus were left alongside a raging river by their father in an attempt to expose them to the elements. It is here where the legend of the she-wolf becoming their adoptive mother is founded. After some time, a man named Faustulus and his wife found the brothers in the wilderness and adopted them as their own. Later, when the king of Alba died, the brothers set out to establish their own city to rule. During its construction, a small fight ensued, resulting in the death of Remus. Afterwards, Romulus would complete the construction of the new city, calling it Rome, and becoming her first king. 4 months after Rome's founding came the controversial abduction of the Sabine women. According to Plutarch, the Romans traveled to the Sabine territory and made off with several hundred women in an attempt to form an alliance with the Sabine people. Later, the Sabines, led by their general, Tatius, set out to avenge the taking of their women. As Romulus and the Romans set out to meet the Sabine army, the women rushed out before them and kept the two parties separated while they pleaded their case for unity between the two peoples. In the end, the Romans and the Sabines agreed to a formal alliance. In the years that followed, Rome doubled in political size, and the Roman traditions were passed down to the Sabine people. Romulus would continue to lead his people as king until his 54th year, when he mysteriously disappeared from the world. Plutarch writes how some believed the Senate killed Romulus in the temple of Vulcan and left no traces of his remains, while others believed while Romulus was giving a speech at a spot called the Goat's Marsh, he was carried off into the heavens by the gods. In either case, Romulus had led the Romans for nearly 38 years and would forever be remembered as the founder of legendary Rome.